This documents my 100,000 foot ride in 2019, occurring August 1st through August 9th. I trailered my bike from DFW to Weston, Colorado, approximately 620 miles. Then Dave and I took off from Weston and went to Lakewood in the Denver area, approximately 303 miles. We did the 100K foot ride. It was put on by Lakewood BMW Club, approximately 305 miles over 4 paved passes and 5 unpaved passes. Then we rode to Craig, approximately 280 miles. Then we rode to Mount Crested Butte, approximately 345 miles. Then we rode a loop back to Mount Crested Butte, approximately 168 miles. Then we rode to Ouray, approximately 317 miles. And finally we rode to Weston, approximately 368 miles. That's back at Dave's place. And on day 9, I trailered back to DFW, approximately 620 miles. The only participants in the ride were myself, Bill Luce, riding a 2014 R1200 GS Adventure, and Dave Callaghan riding a 2018 R1200 GS Adventure. Here's my shiny clean bike all strapped to the trailer, ready to be hauled up to Colorado. Our ride to Denver was beautiful, blue, sunny skies. We ran across several slower moving vehicles pulling Jeeps, and so we had to make a pass here and there. This was a nice scenic ride down a valley with a river at our left. Occasionally you would see kayakers or rafters in the river as well. This plain, as are many others in Colorado, is at an elevation of 9,500 feet. As we approached Denver, we thought we'd check out the Red Rocks Amphitheater. As you can see from all the cars and the pedestrians, there's clearly something getting ready to go on here. Through that gap ahead, you would look down toward the main stage. Here's what the concert venue looks like. This is the top of Georgia Pass, where Dave dropped his bike right as he came to a stop there. He revved the engine, so all the guys behind him turned around and looked, and they actually came over and lifted his bike for him. Well, my GoPro remote was not working very good this day, so I didn't get a whole lot of the 100,000 foot ride, but this particular section is on the way up Ouray Pass. A group of 4 Harleys were holding up a bunch of sports bikes and us on this great road. Here goes the last of the sports bikes for our pass. Dave and I are finally able to start getting rolling. Through the Rocky Mountain National Park, and it was pretty crowded. Everyone was driving pretty much 25 miles an hour, and at every single parking opportunity you basically had to come to a stop and let cars go in and out and then proceed. And now to head back down. This was a nice little road in the woods, but the weather was threatening rain. Oops, there's a drop. Nice little run along a river. This is our approach in towards Rangeley. And this is our jaunt over Douglas Pass. We were held up by some road construction, but fortunately we made one pass and then we were the first ones on the road. Thank goodness. And this is our turnoff onto Kebler Pass to get over to Crested Butte. Kebler Pass is about 70 or 80% gravel and 30 or 20% paved. I kept catching other vehicles, forcing me to make a pass. We started with breakfast down in Crested Butte. There's Dave sitting there, giving me a smile. On day 6, we were doing a Crested Butte to Crested Butte loop, and it started with a ride over Kebler Pass, the opposite direction. In the cattle guard ahead, you can see some marmots, heads sticking out, and they would wait till the last possible minute to duck their head back in. Not nearly as much traffic this morning, but I did catch a Jeep that I had to pass. We came across this freshly graded section, and if you see that little pile of gravel there on the right, in order to get over to the left-hand side of that, that used to be in the middle of the road, and I had to actually cross over that to get around the grader itself. This is Colorado 92 going down or actually up the Black Canyon. There on the right is the dam that creates the lake above the river. At the start of our ride on day 7, we went through this cute little canyon. It seemed like we were in one canyon or another the entire day, but they were all pretty scenic. Although I didn't manage to get it on video, I think it was shortly after this that Dave and I both had to stop for a little bear cub in the front on the side of the road, smaller than a Labrador maybe. And about the time I got stopped, I was ready to turn my GoPro on, and he jumped into the thicket on the side of the road. We both knew Mama must be somewhere around, so we decided we better hightail it out of there. And as you can see, the scenery was just spectacular pretty much all day. We started day 8 by riding through Ouray on our way to $1 Million Highway. On the right there is the chalet inn that we stayed in. So this is the start of the $1 Million Highway. It was originally built in 1883, and the guy who built it charged a toll for anyone who wanted to traverse it. However, it was rebuilt in around 1920, and the cost of all the contracts to do the rebuild added up to approximately $1 million, and that's how it's got its name. And by the way, the $1 Million Highway is known for steep grades, hairpin turns, and few guardrails. Around some of these hairpin turns, you could actually see rubber from the truck tires as they're being scrubbed. Trailers are being scrubbed around the corners. Colorado lets you look through traffic and around the bend in order to decide that it's safe to pass. You can see the dashed line here, even though there's a big sweeping curve. Here we ran into a little bit of fog as we had to pass through a cloud. A bit of traffic, and it was tough finding a spot to pass, but we finally did. We dipped into New Mexico a little bit, and here is a section just north of Chama where several years ago Dave had hit a deer at high speed. It did kill the deer, made Dave extremely sore, but he wasn't hurt badly, and his bike was a mess and had to be hauled the trailer to home. The fun continued on this section. Interesting part here was there was a narrow gauge railroad, privately owned, that we kept crossing back and forth. There was a little steam train that would chug along, that we would see every now and then. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll recognize this little lake here on the left and a bend at the end as we approach probably about 30 miles from Dave's place. Well, that's the end. This is my bike loaded back on my trailer, ready to haul it back to Dallas-Fort Worth area. It was a great trip.